This is Politics as Usual. I'm Pia Hontiveros. Incumbent Manila Mayor and former President Joseph Estrada and former Manila Mayor, Senator, and Police General Alfredo Lim have a young challenger in Isko Moreno, who was Vice Mayor for a time. Why does Moreno want to be Mayor of the City of Manila?
You know, you're very popular because, syempre, showbiz, no? Tapos nagpolitika ka. But what I'm really interested in is how you're still able to, you know, you're in politics. You have to deal with big businessmen, for example, or, you know, ranking politicians, senators, congressmen, and yet you are still able to deal with yung mga ordinary citizens ng Manila. How do you do that? Paano ginagawa yun?
I'm just trying to be me. Although, totoo na kaya ko pa rin makipag-usap sa baba. Hindi ko binabago yung pakikipag-usap sa baba at kung ano ako dati bilang sa baba. Pero dahil pinasok ko yung mundo ng politika, kailangan kong tonohin din ang sarili ko to improve myself na makipag-usap naman sa mga taong maaaring makapagbigay ng trabaho sa syudad o sa distrito o sa tondo, for example. And talking to this type of people or businessmen or the who's who of the country, may mga skills and communication works that kailangan mong aralin. So through the years, sa awa naman ng Diyos, through readings and attending some classes, to improve myself. Para naman na sa ganun. One, it's for me. Yeah, personal
development. Tama.
At the same time, yung trabaho, yung responsibilidad mo bilang isang bahagi ng pamahalaan na kailangan din naman, hindi naman natigil lang doon sa yung pagiging mahirap ko at yun lamang ang gagamitin ko para gumawa ng polisiya. Kasi baka naman may maapekto ang ibang bagay na hindi ko naman nakita at naranasan. So, I really have to be very careful in addressing things.
Yeah. So, para rin, mukha ka na rin kagalang-galang, parang
sabi namin, kagulang-gulang.
Kagulang-gulang. Okay.
KGG, kagulang-gulang.
Alam mo, ang ganda ng usapan natin before we roll tape and then you were using yung mga the words na ginagamit mo sa, ano nga ba yun? Sabihin mo nga.
Well, kasi, totoo no, na siyempre, bisan gusto mong improve ang sarili mo. Kaya lang, siyempre, lumalabas din yung naturalesa mo. Katulad ko, minsan may kagaspangan pa rin, nagagamit ko pa rin mga salitang kali. In my interviews, minsan yung anong tawag dyan, yung bigla ka nalang i-interviewin in a scene, in circumstances. Lumalabas din doon yung pagiging kanto boy ko.
Kanto boy? Like what? Like what words do you,
like for example, dito kami chumichicha, o dito kami, ito, echasan.
Chumichicha is?
Kain.
Kain, okay.
Tapos pag minsan kinukwento ko sa tao, ito yung echasan namin nung araw. Yan yung dumihan nung araw.
Okay.
Halimbawa, sa patay, siyempre, nakikilamay ka, nakikisalamuha ka sa tao, para umengka lang. Di ba?
Umengka?
Is kain. Di ba? Kasi pag may lamay, may biskwit yan. Pagka mayaman ng lamay, meron yan liver spread, sandwich, tapos yung sunny orange juice. Yan.
Sunny orange juice.
Pagka mahirap,
parang gutom ka ngayon, din.
Ito naman ako.
Pagka mahirap?
Pagka mahirap, siyempre, ano lang yan. Alam mo yung biskwit na nasa lata nung araw, yung malaki? Yung pag hinango mo yun, nahamugan, malabsana. Yung assorted biskwit.
Okay.
Yan yun. Yan ang hinahanda lagi. Pero at the end of the day, siyempre, nung araw, abilidad lang. Kanya-kanya pamamaraan. Just to survive. Can you imagine, ito mahirap panawalaan, na akalain mo may mga tao pala na kakain pa sa kinainan na ng tao na tinapon niya pa sa basurahan. Ayun tinatawag nila sa TV, they branded it as pagpag. But kami, ang tawag namin dyan, batchoy. So, yung mga taga-Tondo na kasabayan ko ng basurero, kasama akong basurero, alam namin pare-pareho anong tawag doon, batchoy. Ito yung galing sa isang food chain na company, no? Na piniprito pa namin. So, the point is, kaya ko naman yun, hanggang ngayon, in fact, sinasabi ko sa mga anak ko, kaya ko yung patuloy na inaalala, patuloy na hindi kinakalimutan, at patuloy na ayaw kong alisin sa katawan ko to remind me of myself. Oo, na, hoy,
Where you came from.
Easy ka lang.
Wag masyadong mayabang.
Oo, basurero ka lang.
Wag masyadong lutang. Parang...
Totoo, you really have to be firm on certain issues that affects yung buhay ng tao. You really have to be strong. Sometimes you have to create certain impression publicly. But ako, as much as possible, ayaw kong kakaligdaan o kakalimutan yung nakaraan. Kasi it brought me here. It made me a different person.
A different or a better person?
Different, better, maaari ding, minsan, alam mo, ang isang basong tubig, nakaka-ano rin yan, nakalulunod eh. So, it teaches you also other lessons in life. Kaya, buti na lamang, ako kasi mapagpasalamat ako eh. Madali naman ako sumaya actually. Madali ako sumaya. Kaya, patuloy kong binabalik-balikan. One way or another, by being grateful to my community, at the same time, to myself, sa sarili ko na, easy, Brad. Careful. If God gave it to you,
He can always take it away.
God can take it away. Ganun lagi ang...
Yeah.
Ayun ang worrisome ko. In fact, pag tinatanong ako minsan, ano ang kinakatakot mo sa buhay? Sabi ko, yung mabalik ako sa dati.
Okay.
Kasi walang may gusto noon.
Yeah.
Walang may gugusto. Anong inabot ko dati.
Why are you afraid of that?
Kasi nga, halimbawa may mga tao kasi, siyempre, na kapag umaangat na, chances are, no, pumapasok lahat yan sa ulo niya.
Okay.
Nagiging mukha ng balon yung ulo niyan. Puro hangin na lang. Wala nang laman. Yun ang lagi kong iniingatan.
Yeah.
Dahil power, money,
Fame also.
Fame, pag sama-samahin mo yung tatlo na yan, is a very good formula for a person to be, a bad person or paano ko ba ilalagay yun? Yung, baka balang araw, ibang uri ka na. Parang hindi mo nakilala yung sarili mo.
Yeah.
Next on Politics as Usual.
Total na pagbigyan na naman namin silang dalawa.
Yeah.
Na for them to stop. No? Pahinga na po kayo.
Well, let's talk about this. So you want to run for mayor, no? You're running against the incumbent, si Joseph Estrada.
The Goliaths of Manila.
Yeah, that's right. And Fred Lim, no? Who are, well, both very old compared to you, who's very young. And a lot of people say one of your strongest suits is that you are young. No? But talk to us first about, what happened ba to Manila nung si Fred Lim ang mayor? What happened to Manila nung si Erap Estrada ang mayor?
Well, siguro, with due respect sa kanilang dalawa, meron silang angking kagalingan sa kanilang pamamaraan. No? Nakalulungkot lang na isipin na yung mga bagay na kung ano man ang nagawa nila, ayoko silang husgahan na, kung ano man ang ginawa nila during the time na sila pinagbigyan ng taong bayan na maglingkod. Like in the case of former Mayor Alfredo Lim, he served the city for 12 years. And now incumbent Mayor Estrada for 6 years, that's 18 years. Ang tanong dyan is yung end result. Nasaan nga ba ang Maynila ngayon? Kami ba'y okay? Maganda ba ang katatayuan namin physically?
Oo.
Hindi ba totoo yung...
Maganda ang Manila dati, di ba? Pearl of the Orient. Oh, ano na ngayon? Kamusta na ngayon?
Ano na lang yata kami ngayon? Aluminium of the Orient na lang yata kami ngayon. Talagang mag-deteriorate kami. Kaya nakita masyado yung deterioration ng Manila because nagkaroon ng comparison sa mga kalapit bayan namin. Itong mga Quezon City, Pasig, Mandaluyong, Taguig. Now, before, we know for a fact that yung Pasay is a hospitable city. He is known for that. No? Now, na-convert nila yung hospitality thing into an entertainment city because of the MOA Arena and those development by Bay. There used to be tubig at buhangin lamang. So, kaya nakita at naging blatant na yung disparity ng fast-moving vertical development sa Metro Manila. Kasi yung Manila nag-stagnate. Now, who am I to ako ba espesyalista ng ekonomiya o ng kung anumang bagay? Hindi, ito kasi literal eh. Napapabalita lagi in news, basura namin kaliwat kanan, chaotic ang Manila, walang improvement vertically. Kung ano yung nakita mong Manila nung nag-aaral ka pa sa Manila, kasi most of our Filipino countrymen halos nag-aral sa Manila, is the same thing that you see today. So, naging nawalan ng direksyon. Kaya, ang tingin ko, siguro, wala rin namang masama na total na pagbigyan na naman namin silang dalawa. Na for them to stop. No? Pahinga na po kayo. Let's give chance to others and baka naman maiba. Like what I think it's Einstein said that don't expect different results will come to you tomorrow if what you did today is the same as yesterday. So we will not expect new things will come to Manila. Now, kung sila ulit. Now, pagdating naman sa akin, ano naman ang garantiya ng tao? That's the question people ask.
Kasi kung babatikusin mo sila, syempre ang tanong sa'yo, anong gagawin mo?
Exactly.
Diba? And
kaya ayoko
in the 3 years, kasi that is one term for mayor, what are you going to prove to Manila? What are you going to deliver?
Yes. One, that's true. Ang unang guarantee ko, it will be different. Unang-una, magkaiba kami ng timeline, no? Magkaiba kami ng antena. So it will be different approach. It may be a new approach in policy and governance that we can offer to energy. We can be there on a daily basis.
Bakit sino pinaparinggan mo doon?
Wala naman. It's just that ang presidente ng bansa, anumang bansa, no, hindi yan hinahanap ng tao. Wala yan. Hindi yan dinidemand ng tao na makita. Pero ang mayor, ang localities, all over the country, 1,600 plus LGUs. Ang mayor, masyado yung kailangan visible. Masyado yung kailangan nadyan.
At sino yung mayor na hindi visible?
Maaring may mga ilang mayor na hindi visible. No? But one thing for sure, it goes to everybody. It's a general rule that mayors should go around, they see day in, day out. You go to office, meet with your consultants and other department heads and so on and so on. You do your office job, you do your thing going around the city. Because how can you govern geography, certain geography? You don't even know the streets of that particular localities. So, di ba, parang here we are talking to your consultants and telling, alam mo ba do sa kanto ng maririnig doon sa kanto ng Ascaraga. Sir, hindi po Ascaraga yan, recto na po ngayon yan. Kumbaga, how can you govern on something with the wrong data or no data at all? Because we're talking of pera ng taong bayan.
Are you saying you know the city like the back of your hand?
Modesty aside, I grew up there, pinanganak ako doon, nag-aral ako doon, lumaki ako doon, mga kapitbahay ko rin nagbigay sa akin ng pagkakataong maglingkod, kapamilya ako doon. Buong buhay ko, Manila. So, kung tatanungin, kabisado ko ba ang Maynila with 896 barangays and 10,000 barangay officials? I could honestly say, at least by 80 to 90%, alam ko kung anong kalye at saan lugar
Okay.
yun.
Okay.
At the very least.
So, Isko, you said energy, presence, go around. In terms of, kasi sinabi mo, no, Manila suffers in comparison to all the neighboring cities. There's development everywhere except in Manila. So what are we going to see? I mean, I'm not from Manila, but I go there often. So what are we actually going to see in the first
The tangible part of it is, well, we will focus on people. Pinalad ako at sinuwerte akong maturuan ng tama when I went to UP&C PAG. I vividly remember there is one subject, no? The MBN.
Ano yun?
Minimum Basic Needs.
Okay.
So, from that day, for almost 20 years now, yun ang lagi naging konsepto ko in policy. You address minimum basic needs, poverty alleviation, and there are three things: education, healthcare, and security. Security, ito yung housing. It's a different kind of security that you binibigyan mo ng kapanatagan ng mamamayan mo na magkaroon ng panirahan. Like what with due respect to the late Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, when he created in the 60s the HBD, the Housing Board Development. And yung idea namin is pattern to that HBD program by Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew. Then we address healthcare and we address school. Schools, we invest in education. Why? Katulad ko, tingnan mo, maswerte lang ako yung nakapag-artista. Pero high school finish lang ako. So sa tingin mo, kung di ako naging artistahin, saan kaya ako babagsak?
Coming up on Politics as Usual.
In other words, pagagandahin mo ulit ang Manila. Kung dati, di ba, we already used the phrase, no? Pearl of the Orient, na sinasabi mo ngayon, aluminum na lang ngayon. Babalik ba tayo dun sa Pearl of the Orient? Kasi sinabi mo, no, Manila suffers in comparison to all the neighboring cities. There's development everywhere except in Manila. So what are we going to see? I mean, I'm not from Manila, but I go there often. So what are we actually going to see?
We're going to copy that. Okay. We're going to copy jobs for senior citizens, like what they're doing in Japan, in Singapore, in Hong Kong. If they can do it there, we can do it here. We'll bring Makati to Manila.
Talaga?
Why? Libre naman mangarap eh.
Okay.
At least ako'y pinipilit kong mangarap. Pinipilit kong ipaunawa ang pamamahala sa tao na ang pamumuhunan ng pamahalaan na sa kanyang mamamayan. When I say, we'll bring Makati to Manila, we're not talking about we'll bring those buildings with skyscraping, kumbaga nag-iba yung kanilang itsura vertically, but there are social services that helps the quality of life. Alam mo, may mga hirap din sa Makati. Don't get me wrong. May mga mahirap dyan. Pembo, Rembo, Sembo, yung mga lugar na yan. But as you can see, mahirap sila, pero may kalidad ang pamumuhay. They go to school with complete uniform, supplied by the government. The senior citizens receiving certain allowance kasi yung life sustenance nila, it's being addressed by the local government. Students, libre na mag-aral, binibigyan pa ng pagkakataong, ini-stimulate pa. This is your baon. Ito, baon mo, ha? Ito, pamasahe mo. There's no reason for you to study anymore or to be better student. Wala na, mahirap ako, wala akong baon. So, when I say we'll bring Makati to Manila, will adapt certain social services for Manilans. And I think Manilans deserves it. Now, question is, Isko, kaya ba yan? Mayaman na Makati.
Oo.
Mukhang mayaman na Makati. Kasi ang nakikita mo, magagandang building. Makati is only about what? If I'm not mistaken, about 15 billion pesos. The same thing with us. We have about 14.8 billion pesos. No?
Okay.
So, pareho rin naman batas ang aming ina-apply under the local government code. And one of those provision is the common and general standard is 45% is for PS. So we have about 7 to 8 billion that we can play around and you know, play in a positive way that ano nga bang ipaprioritize natin. So after a few years, a year or two, settling and addressing, gathering datas, no, ng katatayuan ng mamamayan namin and addressing it and confronting it, literally, no? Then we start, I think, we need to come up with vertical development that generates jobs, tourism, and at least the physical appearance o aura of Manila.
In other words, pagagandahin mo ulit ang Manila. Kung dati, di ba, we already used the phrase, no? Pearl of the Orient, na sinasabi mo ngayon, aluminum na lang ngayon. Babalik ba tayo dun sa Pearl of the Orient? Gaganda ba ulit?
It's a bold statement. It may not happen overnight. Ang ganda is a matter of on how the person look at it. Kanya-kanya tayong pananaw ng ano ang maganda at hindi maganda para sa atin. And we respect that. But, you know, Manila, it's like when it was designed, like in the case of architect Burnham, no, designed the Lawton area. As you can see, maganda talaga ang sukat eh. I think, ang kailangan na lang namin, kailangan ko na lang ng polishing ointment. Alam mo yun, yung we protect our heritage at the bank of Pasig River, that Burke building in Escolta, that certain heritage, you know, to be protected. We will protect that asset of Lawton, the Arroceros Park. Pag nakita mo yan sa Google, you'll be excited. Oh, meron pa palang ganito. Then, we'll address traffic. We'll separate foot and vehicular traffic. Yes, it's being done in Netherlands. It's being done in Western world and European world. They separate as much as possible. If there is an opportunity for them, based on geography, they will separate it vertically. Na dito ang daanan ng tao, dito ang daanan ng sasakyan. So, to what? For a better, safe, and, you know, and for health.
Yeah. But Isko, you said it's not going to happen overnight.
Yes,
so we won't see this in
You'll see some vertical in the first 3 years. But ang modest assessment ko, with the continuing policy and continuing governance, no, I think Manila will be at par, just to be safe, no, at par with our neighboring cities within 15 years.
Okay.
Par. Ibig sabihin, competitors na kami ulit. Kasi dati, kami ang kinukompetensya. Ngayon, yung aming mga mauulad, if you can see, read the tycoons of these countries and the who's of these countries, everybody started in Manila. And they still have properties in Manila. And ironically, ang ginawa nila, because Taguig, BGC, o Makati offered a good place to live, to do office. So, ginawa nila, nilipat. Ngayon, bodega na lang kami.
Literally.
Literally, bodega na lang. Kasi they still, kaya kami may old buildings pa.
Na magaganda.
Na magaganda. That's why we'll protect that kind of heritage. Like, for example, City Hall. City Hall, ang ganda. Architecturally, in fact, may mga running joke dyan. Dahil yung City Hall daw, American coffin. When you look at the Google, ganun kasi ang itsura niyan.
Okay.
But, you know, it cannot accommodate anymore demands of our time.
What are your chances of winning? I mean, and I'm not just talking about surveys, kasi I mean, surveys can be, they can be misleading, they're just snapshots in time, you know. Pero ano ba talaga? Ikaw ba talaga mananalo or ano?
Well, una, pag tinanong ako, ang panalangin ko sa Diyos, sana mabigyan ako ng pagkakataon makapaglingkod sa syudad kong sinlangan. Of course, that's yan ang dinadalangin ko araw-araw. Now, let's be honest and with our situation in Manila. Well, may tsansa. Maganda ang tsansa sa awa naman ng Diyos. Dahil, I think, no, kami, napagbigyan naman na namin sila. In fact, wala silang pwedeng masabi sa akin. Pareho sila. I've served them well. I've served them both. Wala silang masabi. I've waited and patiently waited. Hinanda ko naman ang sarili ko. In fact, hindi ko ginamit ang pag-aartista ko na magmadali sa pwesto. As you can see, talagang dinahandahan ko, inubos ko termino, bawat offices, and studied and learned, took experience from it, and I think malaki naman ang tsansa natin.
All right. Isko Moreno, former Vice Mayor, former Undersecretary, and running for Mayor of the City of Manila, the former Pearl of the Orient. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you po.
Salamat po.
Thank you sa inyo.
So, which candidate will get the voters' nod in Manila? Stay tuned for May 13. I'm Pia Hontiveros. This is Politics as Usual.